Hi, it's Chapo. It's your Chapo. Will has requested the day off, so I am again stepping in for the Will. I did all my Will jokes last time I did this on the Q episode, so you can go back and listen to those. I have run out of Will material. I'll need to build up more for next time. Anybody else got some Will burns?
Will's kind of the nicest one of us.
I'll just say some kind of Scorsese reference here. Okay,
Yeah.
Get that out of the way.
Yeah.
So what my idea for today is we're looking ahead at a brand new administration, at least 4 more years of new characters, new events, new challenges, new excitements in front of us. And though we're not really in the prediction game because you can't predict anything other than that the stupidest possible thing will happen at any given moment, what I have done is come up with a list of 10 statements, 10 possibilities in the future. And what I would like my co-hosts here to do today is put some odds on these. Maybe we'll even put some money on them. But I think that everybody here, in my experience, has enjoyed a gamble in their lives. So I wanted to see if we could get some Chapo Trap House rates on some of these.
Mm-hmm. And the Chapo Trap House always wins.
I am a very good gambler. Every time I've ever tried to do a football parlay with like 3 teams or so, not only have I lost, I got every single game wrong, so that if I had bet the opposite, I would have won. So
I've lost at cards. I've never lost at the track. I think that's my horse girl energy. Like, it's kind of a magic power.
And then, of course, there's Felix and his astoundingly durable system for winning at slot.
It's so good. He's so good at it.
I think gambling is like one of the health essentials. People who don't gamble, they have shorter lives. They have experienced less pleasure. Their lives are less meaningful. Their kids like them less. And it matters less when they die. People who enjoy gambling have better lives, are better people. Gambling is like, I consider it's as important as eating an entire loaf of bread every day, or drinking your morning sodas.
Yes,
or
you got to get those morning sodas in.
Yeah,
does a body good.
Yeah, the things you got to do. You have to spend at least $10,000 a year on gambling. You got to drink your clear sodas in the morning and your dark sodas at night. You've got to. A lot of people get this one wrong, but there's a common misconception, and especially among men. You should only brush your teeth like once or twice every 2 weeks. Anything more than that is bad for the fibers and the strands and dries it out. It dries out your teeth.
Of the teeth or the brush?
Of the teeth.
Oh, okay.
The fibers in the teeth.
Tooth fibers.
But you should be washing your hair at least twice a day with shampoo.
Okay.
Preferably a 4-in-1.
Okay.
But gambling is sort of, we all know the food groups, right? The food pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, soda,
Refresh
Impossible
us.
Burgers.
Yeah, soda's at the top, right? Like, soda is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
That's at the top. That's where the pharaoh lives, the top of the pyramid. It's the most important thing. The bottom, all those types of bread. You've got bread, rice, regular bread, candy bread, cookies, other starch, potatoes, nature's bread.
Is candy bread like a cake? Would you call that candy bread?
Yeah.
Or like a softer cookie?
Yeah, well, that's okay. So you know why those are in the bottom of the food pyramid? Because that's where the slaves live, and there's no pyramid without the slave. You got the slave and the pharaoh. What's in between there? Gambling. Gambling's the middle, where they put Moses, because he was kind of both. He's both like a slave and a pharaoh type of guy. He was like the pharaoh's uncle. And the
pharaoh's uncle.
Yeah, he was. Because the Pharaoh is like God's son, but Moses was like God's brother or something.
I think that's.
I don't.
I don't think that's.
Oh, this all.
I would-
I'm barely remembering the 10 Commandments right now because I like to get high and watch Charlton Heston, and it's one of the gayest movies I've ever seen. But I'm pretty sure
There's nothing
you
gay.
might have mixed up some categories.
I would love to see your Dan Brown style airport thriller exploring this interpretation called The Pharaoh's Uncle.
Yeah, I'm working. I'm working on it. But so basically, that's the pyramid of health, right?
Yes.
And it's like a real pyramid.
Bread, sodas, and gambling.
Yeah, it's like a real pyramid. If you just have the slave part, well, that's not a pyramid. It's just like a square mound where you put all your slaves. That's not okay.
Yes.
If you just
It's a house that's only a basement.
if you just have the top, if you just have the candy and the soda,
Nothing.
that just it's floating. If
Yeah.
if your soda's float in the air, you can't drink it.
That's true.
The
Good
first
luck
thing
trying.
you should do with soda.
Yep.
We're getting really surrealist here with this opening.
And if you just have the middle, that's basically fine. You can just gamble.
Yeah,
That's
just gamble.
fine. If you can't do the other things, you should just like go gambling.
Yeah, especially since if you're at a casino, and you're gambling, they give you free soda anyway.
That's true. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, that's basically my position. I don't really enjoy gambling, but I do love hanging out in casinos.
Same.
Which is basically the same thing because
It's
you're just
fun.
spending money on the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think unfortunately, a lot of people that listen to the show are sort of dentist adjacent. And
Yeah,
They're in the
they're-
pocket of big dentist.
Yeah. I mean, and even worse, some of them aren't even being coerced. Their minds have been captured by the propaganda. That they have to kill the dentist in their head.
yeah, exactly. Here's the thing a lot of people don't know is there was no dentistry before Joseph Mengele started doing his stuff. He invented the practice of dentistry. And why did we keep it going after we defeated the Nazis? Because doctors have already like run through their public trust, right? Like
Yeah.
when doctors started
Wear masks, don't wear masks. Yeah, come on, get out of here.
when doctors started saying soda's bad for you, like no one was going to listen. It's like, oh, what
Use
else?
The bathroom again. I don't know how this happened, but you've made me have to pee with all the soda talk. Hang on.
Dentists, so they invented dentistry, which they cribbed from Joseph Mengele's notes. And they're like, all right, we'll invent this whole new quack field to convince people not to get their life-saving sodas.
Yeah, because we're a bunch of sickos who just want to fuck around with people's teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they are pervert. It is the same as like jacking off at work for them.
Yeah,
But
The
gambling.
documentary, Little Shop of Horrors talks all about that.
Yeah, gambling. We're gonna get back to gambling when Amber's getting her 2 afternoon sodas. She gets back from
I
getting
had
those
a
sodas.
rare afternoon soda when we started this. I have to say, yeah, I totally agree. Casinos are fun. Gambling is good and healthy. All those projects that kind of like you take a failing city and like some guy rolls into town like the monorail man and says, you know what you need to fix this failing city? A casino right downtown.
You know who one of those guys is? Andrew fucking
Yang.
Yang.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Those guys are all swindlers because they're trying to make a for-profit casino. What we really need is government-subsidized casinos. You go in, and every year, instead of like filling out whatever a tax credit or any of this bullshit for you get like money back on your taxes if you have like kids or whatever. No, you file your taxes each year, and the government sends you a $200 voucher for the local casino.
That's a great idea. That's a fucking great idea. Like I mean, like I think that like even communist states should have casinos, and it's like even if you're living in like you've achieved it where you've abolished money and everything, well you could like win grain at the slot machine or like win a medal if you're the best at playing slots.
Yes, just win a dinner with the commissar or something. Not a dinner, a commendation from the local commissar if you like win your poker tournament.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, like the new hero of socialist labor is like just some dude at a Kino room,
Yeah.
like in a polyester suit. Like that's the new Stakhanovite hero of the people. I think that would be a more healthy society.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it stands to reason that like the best soldier is probably the best gambling. Like Zhukov was probably like a very good gambler.
Yeah, well, you got to gamble to. I mean, if you're not willing to gamble as a military guy, then you're not going to win. You're just going to sit there. You know who was a bad gambler?
George McClellan.
Yeah.
Terrible fucking gambler.
Yeah,
Dog
makes
shit.
sense. Makes sense.
Do we get to the point where we pointed out the true fact that it is absurd that counting cards is against the rules? As if paying attention is like against the rules.
Well, they get to choose what the rules are, though. That's the thing, because they bait the casinos. It's not against the law. You can't get arrested for it. But if you know you're doing it, they can just be like, you can't come in here. Which
How can
it's
they
like how
tell
Homer Simpson isn't allowed into the buffets after a while.
How can they tell I'm doing it though? I mean,
Well, that's
maybe
just
I
it. There's no due process. They get to just whoever they suspect is. Basically, if you win too much, they can just kick you out. That's why it's a great job. That's why having a casino is an awesome gig. It's like the house always wins, and if it doesn't, then we will make it so it does. It's great.
Yeah. Well, I just think I just don't think I should be punished for paying attention. My
Absolutely
whole
not.
life, people are yelling, "Amber, pay attention!" And like the one time, I'm really good at paying attention. It's bad.
It's
I don't
bullshit.
think that like counting cards should be against the rules per se, but it is against like the spirit of gambling, in my opinion.
That's
Which is to
true.
be really dumb and not know what you're doing.
Yes.
Well, you can also
Let the
still
fates decide.
lose.
You gotta let the
You can
fates
also
decide.
still lose. Like even being a good gambler, you still don't know which card is coming up. You can just say, "Well, it's probably not this card because I saw 4 of them already."
They should allow you to card count, but if you identify, there should be a card counters only table. And then the deal is that you can make as much money card counting as you want, but you must immediately then gamble it all on one number in roulette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Do we want to talk about some of these things?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
great.
I mean, I guess.
It's around it's midday it's midday here, so I am going to be drinking a ginger ale, which is a liminal soda between the morning white soda and the afternoon dark soda.
It's actually a medicinal soda.
That's also true. The ginger.
Yeah.
It's a bronze soda.
I'm drinking my own concoction. What I have right now, this is a Mountain Dew Baja Blast with a Mio enhancement.
Ooh.
You know, the only time I've ever seen this expired soda. Have you guys ever seen someone who had expired soda?
I've heard of expired soda.
Oh my
yes.
God.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, actually.
I believe my grandmother has had
Yeah,
expired
it's
soda.
my grandmother too.
Yeah. And it's like, how? Are you aging it? Is this canning
Well,
for you?
I mean, my
don't-
grandmother is 100 now, so maybe it's extra good for you.
Maybe. Yeah, like a fine wine.
Yeah.
I'm drinking coffee with oat milk
Ooh.
because today is my one vegan day a week, which is the thing I do now. And I do that because I don't know. I have no reason for it. I just do that once a week, just for something to do.
The ancients did that. Like the Romans would have like a 6-month period where they didn't eat meat.
It's just, I don't know, it gives some sort of structure so I have to think about food and not just like, hoover up Zanku's chicken.
I love drinking Sanka. Sort of my treat when I've had my sodas for the day.
Have you ever done coffee in soda?
I've done that
Oh,
by
God.
accident.
To me, Tab is always a little bit coffee-ish. Like Tab is kind of a coffee soda to me, and they're discontinuing it, which is
But
heartbreaking.
their
to
Coke
me.
is bringing back Coke and coffee in a can, which I remember they
God.
did. Do you remember? I bet Matt remembers this. Coke Black.
Oh yes. Yeah. Yes, the coffee-esque Coke. They need to do that with red wine too.
Yes, they should
It's a favorite
definitely
in
sell
Basque
Coke and red
country.
wine. Oh,
Yeah.
that's such a good combo. I just remember.
They do that in Spain. Like they love.
Yeah.
it in
The
Spain.
Basques love that shit.
That's
They should bottle it though. You should be able to get it.
That's such like a Mikey Miles drink.
Oh God, we're getting obscure now.
it's something that doesn't seem like it should work, but it does.
Actually, yes. Chris made me try this once on tour, and it does work.
Yeah. It goes when you just want a little caffeine in your wine.
Mm-hmm. It's a little pop.
I remember my Marxist high school history teacher, every day his ritual was he would get a giant thing of coffee, drink it halfway down, and at time for second period, fill it back up with a can of Coke. And I would watch him do this like every day and think it was
Damn.
absolutely disgusting. But hey, maybe he's onto
Damn.
something.
There are so many cool ways in which you watch teachers just like destroy their bodies.
Yes.
Yeah. And you can't blame them.
Yeah. Well, that's. I mean, like, That's what Fash gets.
That's what the school
Homework.
cops. That's what they have coming.
Homework's Fash. Let's see a lot of people on the left making apologies for homeroom.
I see you.
Yeah, you're not slick.
All right, I'm gonna do one of these, and if you
Do it.
think one of it's boring, just tell me. I've got 10 of them, so one of these has got to hit. We're gonna start off on the thing that's most on the table today. I would like, what kind of odds would you put on the $2,000 stimulus checks going out sometime in the next 6 months?
6 months, $2,000. So not the $1,400 LOL. You thought that
No.
was different.
A
Track
check-
actually an additional $2,000.
A check worth $2,000 that goes out to, I don't know, even if it's mean tested, I would say at least a third of Americans.
Okay.
Mm. Okay, so here's my thing. I would say that if it is means tested, that would take over 6 months because it takes so long to do any of that because it's incredibly inefficient to means test. And if they do it quickly, it's going to be under 2,000. So I would say the odds are very low.
I bought
Yeah,
that.
I'm gonna go about what kind of like deal are we going like percentage wise here?
Yeah, sure. Or you can do like 2 to 1, 4 to 1.
Because I don't really know how any of that works. I watched Uncut Gems. That's about all I know about gambling, and I didn't get most of that.
Yeah.
All right, so,
So-
a percentage is like it's like the numbers, son. Some numbers have more kids. It's like real life. The taller you are, the more kids you're gonna have. So like
And
a number
the
like
Pharaoh.
yeah, the number like 100. That's like one of the on the bigger end. That's gonna have like a lot of percentages. Number very big. Like 1% is the entire number one. Whereas the number 1% of that is 0.01. That's small. Because it's like it's like how a man under 5'8" will never have any children ever.
Yeah, possible.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I agree. Also, I would say I think that if there is a check and it looks like they're saying they're going to move fast with some sort of relief thing in like by March, they're saying but the top line is never what you end up with Democrats. That's sort of their religion at a certain level, and that's how they operate. So I would say very low odds. 1 in 6, is that a high odd? I don't know.
I would say that sounds about right. I was thinking about 1 in 4.
That's probably right.
Yeah, my pick for like $2,000 checks, like actual $2,000. That I have 1 in 5 or or no. It's 1 in 20. I think there's a 5% chance of that happening.
Okay.
Oh man, yeah. I think honestly, you're gonna want good odds if you're putting money on this one because I do not think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't see it.
I don't think and I think it's specifically under the conditions that Chris laid out. Like within 6 months and over like a third of Americans.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing, is that we could do it quickly or we could do it universally, but we're not going to do both.
And I mean, today Biden is saying that he is negotiating the income, like the whole stimulus structure, like how much and who it goes to, with the Problem Solvers Caucus. So that's another reason to get your bets in early and at as good odds as possible.
That's like
good though.
that is the special delegation of like developed by Martin Prince for student government. That is the fucking nerdiest shit I have ever heard.
That's good though. I mean, problems are bad.
Yes, we
They
do
are
hate
bad,
the
and we
problem.
would like to see them solved.
Yeah, problem solvers.
There's
Caucus-
competency porn and then there's competency like skinemax. Like this is
the soft core of
Embarrassing.
competency.
Yeah,
Ugh.
competent. Yeah, problem solvers caucus. It sounds like it was like people who like found Scholastic Bowl like too urban.
they like the fundamentals.
Yeah, I just don't like that it's sports affiliated.
Who's even in the problem solvers?
I got it
caucus
right
anymore?
here. You guys want to get? It's 8 and 8. It's 8 Democrats, 8 Republicans.
Yeah.
Anybody got any guesses?
Oh, great.
Who do you got to guess?
Nobody who didn't serve their first term in Congress later than the year 2000.
Tim Ryan, I know is one.
This isn't. No, this is the Senate. This is not the
the
House.
Senate
There
one,
is a Problem Solvers Caucus in the House. Those are all winners. But this is a new caucus forged in the fires of the 2020 campaign and the need to rise above partisan bickering that is now taking the reins in the Senate.
Susan Collins.
Susan Collins, yes, correct. She is in there.
The Problem Solvers Caucus were the first ones manning the barricades inside the Senate chamber because that was a big problem when they raided the Capitol and they needed to solve it.
Yeah, they're solving the problem.
Did you know that no problem solvers went to work on 9/11?
I think that's pretty suspicious, honestly.
Yeah. They said it was a problem-solving holiday that day, but yeah, how many of those are there?
It's a bunch of winners. It's you got your Susan Collins has said, you got Lisa Murkowski, Mitt, Rob Portman, you've got Angus King, the independent with the mustache, and Stephen King's uncle from Maine, the Dark Lord Hickenlooper, the astronaut man from Arizona, and of course Joe Manchin, Dick Durbin, a bunch of winners. And my favorite thing about it is that it's got 8 Republicans, which is not enough to overturn a filibuster if they were all on your side. So all they can do is, like happened with Obama, negotiate down somewhere and then fail to deliver for the votes on the thing they helped negotiate down.
Well, that is a very noticeable list of losers. Dick Durbin, just a really awful senator. Like,
Yeah,
when
terrible.
you consider like who you could elect in Illinois and what we got, but I do have to say, like, Lisa Murkowski, that's on both my and my wife's hall pass. It's the only person on both. So,
just adding to notable uncles in that, want to shout out Ohio's soon-to-be ex-Senator Rob Portman, who I believe is like Natalie Portman's like uncle or something.
I believe so, yeah.
is he actually?
Yeah, they're related somehow.
No, they aren't. That's not her real name.
Her last name is
Her
like
name's Hirschlag.
Oh,
Oh, so
I was told
my God.
Ohio lore.
who is your source on
sounds-
this?
That sounds like an anti-Semitic way of calling someone a hoe.
Fucking Hirschlag.
Hirschlag.
What? I'm very curious about who got one over on you with this one.
It's just something you hear growing up in Cincinnati.
Okay, well that's
Cincy lore.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for him to be replaced by the Dog Pound. That's going to be who takes over collectively. Just 16 morbidly obese guys in dog costumes wandering the halls of power.
I heard people saying, "Oh, like JD Vance could win." It's like no one's voting for JD Vance.
No one gives a shit about JD.
No one
Vance.
cares.
What? No.
No.
No one likes him.
He looks the worst that an adult can look.
Yeah.
Like
I know.
he looks like a husky child, and he's like 42.
He looks exactly like
Yeah.
that awful version of him in the movie.
Yeah.
I just love
Yeah,
the idea of him
he's
going to like the fucking Youngstown, Ohio, going like, "Hey, everybody, I'm the guy from Hillbilly Elegy. Remember that movie on Netflix you guys love watching?" And it's like, yeah, no, we have not watched that shit. We have Netflix, but we're exclusively watching anime.
Ink Masters and Naruto only. But run one of the Ink Masters for Rob Portman's seat. Probably a winner.
You might have something there, yeah. Again, there are all these dark horse celebrities that I'm like, people really like that, and it's like, no, 10 million people love this person.
Yes.
That's the thing that I figured out is that like entertainment now and celebrity is so boutique that being a micro celebrity still means like a large, sizable portion of an electorate.
yeah.
And there are also a lot of celebrities out there who are flying under the radar of, your more your tuned in urban types like us, but that are very well known among the people who actually vote. If the goth chick from NCIS ever chose to run for president, she would win 40
Yes.
states.
Yeah. Or the progressive lady,
Or you'd think like when you hear like, oh, micro celebrity is a good transition to politics, the fear would be like some kind of psychotic TikToker, but what you really should be thinking of is some woman whose dog grooming business has 200 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
I
totally.
think Matt has the right track. It's like there's so many like shitty network TV shows that you've never watched a second of, but like shit that like for the listeners, shit that your parents like.
911
Like,
or
yeah,
its spin-off series
yeah.
911 Fire and Rescue.
I mean, Shamar Moore could be a senator.
100%.
And there's
Yes.
no reason
Yes.
for it. He's more charismatic than anyone who's ever been in politics.
Yes.
We are, but are we ready for a silly senator? Is the question.
He's like, I don't even care if he's ever been to Ohio. Like, he has as good, if not better, of a shot than any generic Dem running for this.
Yeah, they better get a celebrity because the Republican nominee will be some, Q psycho from the suburbs of Cincinnati. So they better get a celeb or they're going to lose.
When they do the 2024 imagined lineups, you know how they'll list people and then they'll put like generic Democrat, generic Republican. They should just start adding generic Shamar Moore under it, just as a control group.
Yeah, but I don't even think it needs to be someone with like television. Like I do think the internet is going to start make things that exist in celebrity wise on the internet. Like, I mean, God help us if like the owner of Old Friends Dog Sanctuary is like a ruthless libertarian or something like that.
That is how
Like,
Boebert started. Like Shooter's Grill was like a meme thing on the internet before she ran for anything.
Yeah,
Like it's the gun restaurant, and he's the sexy gun lady who has the kicking dippers that she'll shoot at you out of the kitchen, out of a shotgun. If they actually do that, I would go there. That sounds fun.
That would rock, and I would literally love to see it. All right, let's move on to another one. Let's talk about the outgoing big boy. Here's my proposition. Any member of the Trump administration, cabinet level or above, or Trump family member is prosecuted with a federal crime.
Oh boy!
In the next 4 years.
Is infinity a bet you can? Is that an odds you could put down?
prosecuted.
Just zero or infinity? Like first, it will definitely happen.
Infinity is to one. Like not going to happen. We can't.
I mean, I think it would put too many other people at risk to do it. Like, we can't start holding people accountable because then,
Yeah, the whole thing falls apart. Powers at that level, especially at the political side, impunity is built in because as soon as you remove impunity, anything is up for grabs and anybody could go to jail. And it's not even about them being, more or less corrupt or something. It's that there will be partisan advantage to doing it if the taboo is lifted. And so if you're out of power and somebody else is in there, you're going to have every incentive to fuck with them as a way to, delegitimize your opposition, which is why Felix's father was correct. The president should serve one long term, like maybe 6 or 8 years, and then be executed.
I totally agree with that proposition.
One of his best ideas, but
Oh, wait, exception. I think that they could get Kushner. Like that could be their sacrifice.
I think he's the most likely to go to jail, but I also think with Kushner, it's a separate presidential class interest thing because it's like if you send Jared to jail, like how many New York real estate scumbags do you have to send to jail? That said, it's like there always has to be one. Like they always like U.S. attorney and like state attorney, like they all have to be like, hey, look, we care about slumlords.
Yeah,
they all
true.
have to do it for one guy, and it's like he's as likely as any of them.
Like there was one guy
They
who
have
went
to
down.
do a sacrifice.
There was one guy schmuck who went down for the 2008 housing collapse. There's got to be one schmuck from this whole thing, and Kushner. It's not like Trump would lift a finger for him. That's for sure. And it's not
Wasn't
like
the only
It's not like they have to worry about the Republican base convulsing in defense of Jared fucking Kushner.
No, yeah.
Was it the only banker that they got for like 2008 for subprime stuff, like some bank in Chinatown, like a literally like a Chinese American bank that owns all the rat hovels in Chinatown, and they're like, yeah, these are the bad guys.
Yeah, there was some small timer for sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, it would be funny if he went to jail, but like, I can't even see it for Don Jr. Like,
No.
Don Jr. couldn't go to jail if he wanted to.
It would be very funny if it was about some kind of completely unrelated crime. Like if Don Jr. like ran over a pedestrian in a Hummer or something.
A string of flashings. He's just also a pervert. That would I want to see like a high level politician get caught for like an antiquated pervert crime, like being a peeping tom.
Yeah,
like going looking through windows
stealing
with
pies.
binoculars.
Well, if that's the case, it's going to be one of our beloved hobos for stealing
Yeah.
pies. Like it's going to be something that we don't want to happen to
And similar,
a sweet boy who rides the rails.
Similarly, that'll be what gets Hickenlooper out of the Senate for killing hobos.
Let's do the inverse of this then. Oh, I'll just give a quick thing on that. Yeah, 20-1 that 30-1 that anybody gets prosecuted, just to lay down a claim. Here's another proposition: Hunter Biden is forced to testify before Congress.
95%.
Yeah. Because there's I mean, it's based on the assumption that the Republicans will win the midterms, which I think is that's even money at least. And if that happens, then there's no way he is not. First thing they do, Hunter Biden's ass is in a chair. He's got bags under his eyes. He is wearing Lululemon, and he is telling them that only God can judge him. And I can't wait for it, honestly.
Yeah.
What if he gets called to testify, but it's about him like fudging his dick pic, the ruler dick pic, to make it look like his dick was 9 inches when it's more like 7.5.
Mr. Biden, right? It appears here that you have been measuring from the base at the bottom of the penis rather than the top, which is generally considered to be the more accurate measurement.
I don't want to start an argument here, but I think it's fine to measure from the base. I don't do these sexually. I just send these to my friends, my family. Just like, it's like a good, you know how in India they send like the good morning flowers? This is what we do in America. But the problem is that he did it at like an angle. Mm-hmm. He like made a triangle with the ruler in his dick. And that's like,
are you saying he used perspective?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't look.
It's a big dick, but it's like.
Okay, well, first of all, I knew that without looking.
Yeah.
We all knew. You can tell.
Yeah.
Like, it's not always the ones you would expect, but sometimes it definitely is.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I have my try not to look at people's junk if it wasn't sent. It's just what can I say? I'm a lady.
And then the reverse is certainly true for others. Like, you don't have to look at we can be spared the sight of a Don Jr. dick pic. We don't need to see that. We know he's got the shrimpy.
Right, exactly. We already know.
He's got the shrimpy.
That said, I do see him being the sort of person who would like he knows his angles, obviously. And he's not above a little bit of what do they call it? Lens distortion.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I respect your perspective on this a lot. It's definitely like the moral position. That said, I think if you're an adult and you're the president's son, people should be able to see your dick if people ask.
Yeah, 100%. It's like it's more of a religious position for me than a political position.
I mean, I agree with Felix that it is of national interest at this point.
Yeah.
It's 100%. It's like a freedom of speech, freedom of journalism, freedom of speech. Like these are things that the public deserves to know.
I think Joe himself probably has like.
I'm just not going to specifically look at it.
I think Joe himself probably has like a deeply average dick. Mm-hmm. It's like 5.75 inches. Like nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
Joe Biden has
a lunch pail 9 to 5 dick.
Yeah.
Has the penis of an anatomical model in a 7th grade sex education pamphlet.
Yeah.
Yes. He is the fat end. He is the fat part of the bell curve, and the bell end.
All right, and so we think that is like basically 1-to-1, even odds that'll happen.
Yeah.
We're gonna get our Kendall Roy moment.
It's gonna be. Mwah. Can't wait.
Oh, I was saying this on the chat earlier, but as long as we're talking about him, I do have to bring up this other new Hunter Biden weirdness that I just learned on mic, which is that I just learned over the weekend that after breaking up with Beau Biden's widow, like 18 months ago, he started dating a new girl and has already had a baby with that girl last year, who the baby is named Beau. And I had to take a seat when I first learned this information and just think about it for a while, because there's just so much going on with that guy and his family and his life. It's wild.
Because that kid is not the kid from Arkansas whose mom sued him for paternity. That's a separate child.
No, that's a new kid.
And
New kid.
is the mother of this kid, Bo, the one who he converted to Judaism and got the tattoo for, or is this a different
That
one?
might
That's
be.
the first one. Oh, I thought that was the first one.
No, that was not her. I don't think.
God,
No,
it's so hard to keep them straight.
The Judaism one, that's the woman he's currently dating. Who he said.
Yeah,
is
I think
like
her name is Melissa Cohen.
Yeah. Every free thinker I know has like 7 kids. Him, Varg, and that's really it.
Yeah,
The 2 freest
He's,
thinkers in the world.
God, if we could get those guys together.
Olam Tikkun or whatever, however you say it. I don't know. I just really like it when rich people are white trash. That makes me feel warm inside because it forces people to sort of grasp at crazy people behavior removed from the sort of class aspiration that sometimes nudges you in that direction. It's like some people will go their whole life without like a schizophrenic or manic episode because they had a pretty easy life. That doesn't mean it's not just sitting there in their brain waiting to be nudged into that. And then some people like can be just like cosseted their entire lives, but man, they're gonna name their paternity suit kid after their dead brother whose wife they felt like. That's just, he was always going to be that way.
Yeah, no.
There's no conditions under which he wouldn't have been that way.
It's like, I think that like crime and stuff like I think it's usually, and I think anyone who's sort of like agrees with us very generally politically thinks the same thing. It's absolutely nurture, like 99% of the time.
It's
right?
like 99%,
Right.
yes.
But
some people just got that wiring.
There are people who are just bad seeds also. There are people who just like had everything and it's just like, they like, fucking decapitated cats and shit. Like sometimes it's like, it's rare, but it's like, sometimes you just get like a shitty psychopath kid.
Get bad wiring. The assembly line of human beings, once in a while, one turns out kind of wonky.
But just like that, it's like, Hunter grew up at the absolute seat of power, like about as high up you can go. And it's like, like you said, that's always who he was going to be.
A pimp.
I mean, he had some extreme things happen in his life, but for most people who had extreme things with the, sort of like stable home life and material security, they had, tragedy and they mourned and stuff, but they still like kept it together. They didn't go full on Frost, just to refer to my own family. I don't know. I feel like I feel a kinship with him, and it's for no reason at all in that, like, oh, that could totally be my cousin.
He's also
100%.
and he's the least globalist guy in the world. Like, what is globalism? But having your first kid at age 43, and then having your next kid at age 57, and those are the only kids you have.
The only thing I will say is that like the other benefit that like, and like prison's a terrible like place and very inhumane and everything, and it doesn't help anyone. Like American prison system is monstrous, but I don't want Hunter to go to prison. But I did kind of think about my stepbrother who was in jail for 2 years and for some reason had an iPhone and for some reason had Facebook and just constantly from prison was status updating about how many bitches he was going to fuck when he got out and how much weed he was smoking in prison and taking like selfies with his friends in prison. And honestly, he looked like he was thriving. I know we all try to make our Instagram look happier than we actually are. That's part of social media. But I would have loved to see him thrive in prison. I would love to see his like incarcerated social media presence.
Well, that's like, I'm not like a prisons shouldn't exist necessarily guy. Like, I think most of the people in prison shouldn't be in prison. I think like I kind of
and the prisons that are there should be more like, okay, you got to cool your heels in a comfortable apartment where we can get you to some therapy and some social work.
I mean, I'm glad he told me that because like I I think what prison should be is just like a place where you hang out. And it's
I mean, some people need a place to hang out.
Yeah.
Just on something you said, Amber, are you guys familiar with the universal friend, the
Hell yes.
itinerant preacher from the 18th century America? Just was everybody's friend.
No.
Just this person who became publicly identified themselves as the universal friend. I think Hunter is a good modern equivalent of the universal cousin. Someone who everybody identifies as. And
I
that's
do
not
feel
like
close
a
to him.
value judgment of him, or, I feel like some people are like, oh, you're idolizing Hunter. That's gross. No, he's just, everybody has that concept of the universal cousin that he can embody. I think that's his place in society.
Yeah. And I also, I have a great affection in my heart for failures, for people who just can't ever get it together. And, a lot of my worldview is based on creating a world with a net for those people so that they don't have like garbage lives just because they're fucking incompetent and useless. But like, yes, is he a piece of shit? Yes. Would I be like, no, you can't hang out at my house. You stole my TV last time. But also, I want him to be okay.
Yeah.
And there's just something so familiar about him.
There is this thing that J. Paul Getty said in his insane autobiography. It was a very revealing, interesting thing he said. And it was like, this was before rich people were like Bill Gates and were just as sociopathic, if not more, but it hired PR departments. Getty said something like, there's a certain percentage of the population that's never going to figure it out, so we should make labor camps for them. Oh, God. But his, the backing of that, I kind of agree with. Like, there is a percentage of people who just, never figure it out.
It's just that they should get to vote on what they want to do.
Right.
Like, it's like my boyfriend was talking about when he was little, like, if they had to split something with his brother, one person got to cut it, but then the other person got to pick which half.
Classic system.
Yeah.
Which half.
That's
It's the reverse.
Solomonic wisdom right there.
It's the reverse King Solomon, yeah. So it's like,
and the other,
okay, we get to, we're like, okay, we need a special role for people who are really bad at things and just can't seem to get good at things, but they get to pick what it is.
A friend of mine was proposing a system for this that is something that I do think that we could use in the future, and honestly would probably cool down a lot of temperaments on there, which was a WPA for liking Facebook's comments and statuses. Like a horde of Facebook readers to go and find all the crazy unsupported suppositions online where people are mostly just mad they're not getting good engagement, and engage with those.
Yeah. Nothing makes me sadder than seeing someone post like going live on IG in an hour and just no one's on it. And it's like, I'm not going to join that, because it's like, if you're the only person in there, then they're probably going to call you, and it's like,
that's stressful.
I'd rather you'd come to my house and kill me.
Yeah, it's like a lot of the reason people end up going to mega churches instead of like a small church that has a more intimate experience, which they would prefer, is that in a mega church, you don't get singled out. And you don't have to be like, oh, thank you for joining us today. Like, you kind of just want to be in the, like, I'll participate, but only if no one notices me. These people would be great for that. There was actually a socialist, I forget which one, which said, like, if we have, like, self-directed work, let's just have little boys be street cleaners because they're disgusting and love garbage. And now, my argument against that would be that they're not good at cleaning up the garbage, but like the line of thinking is there. Like, what do Hunter Bidens like doing that would be of benefit to society? And there's definitely an answer somewhere. We just need to put our heads on it.
I mean, he at some level knows, like we've said, he doesn't have it in him to do the big evil that his family name allowed him to, because the gallant to his goofus, Bo, the good son, the one who would have been running for president and maybe be president now if it hadn't been for his brain tumor, it was most notable as Attorney General of Delaware for helping one of the DuPont spawn escape a child rape charge, a baby rape charge, actually.
Oh, God, yeah.
Demons.
When I learned about that, I was like, Jesus, how come more people aren't like Pizza King?
Yeah.
Which he negotiated while he was on deployment in Iraq. Because he was
as
one of those guys who
he was
still
attorney general and in Iraq so that he could get like the double dipped resume item. An absolute psycho. And he was the good son.
That's like a commercial for Zoom, like for when you're away, but you have business back home.
Should I wait for Felix to come back? No, let's just press on. He can figure out by context clues. All right,
Yeah.
Another one in the holding the Biden crime family accountable. Joe Biden gets impeached.
No.
I'd say. I mean, once again, you have to assume that the Republicans take the House back in 2022. Once again, a good bet. And then you're going to definitely see a bunch of Benghazi-style hearings. Whether they impeach him, the desire is going to be there, and more than anything, the desire to just do to show consequences for insisting on impeaching Trump those times
Twice.
So yeah, so I think that there will be plenty of incentive just in the near term and like more structurally to do it. So, but the conditions might be like events might have occurred that could have make that seem out of touch or tone deaf in a way. I don't know. I would say better. I'd say even odds on that. I think it's
Really?
likely.
See, I think that they would say, like, why would we bother doing this? We're getting more support from, people resentful that the Democrats aren't playing fair. And plus, Joe Biden works with us.
No,
Yeah.
Joe Biden's the devil. He's El Diablo. They hate. I mean, he's going to be the Democratic president has to be the devil. Like, maybe he's not yet, but they're going to turn him into it. The way they did for Clinton and the way they did for the O'Bungler.
They're definitely going to run that as a PR campaign, but I think that's a lot of kayfabe. Like, he doesn't interfere with their bottom line.
Well, I mean, Bill Clinton didn't either, and they still impeached him. I mean, Bill Clinton was playing the game. Bill Clinton was like, "What do you want me to sign? I will gut welfare. I'll do it." And they still had to fucking impeach him because of political considerations.
Yeah, but I think it was just a completely different political environment there. I think Republicans are better at playing the long game and stewing resentment over Joe Biden and watching his brains leak out of his ears and be like, look at what this party thinks of the country, that they would put this person in charge. I think, and then again, he's not obstructing any of the sort of goals of capital either.
Well,
I don't
think that would be why. I don't think that's ever why anyone gets impeached. And I don't know. I think they'll probably do it if they get the House, and it'll be interesting if they get the Senate too, because the map looks pretty bad for Democrats in 2022. So maybe it could be closer. Maybe we could get like one of those cool 2-week long, like the real trials with what do they call them? The people you interview at a trial.
Witnesses?
That's it.
What were you trying to think of the other day? Or bracelets for your finger? You're trying to think of the word ring?
Yeah.
They are finger bracelets, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I mean, am I wrong? I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong. Felix, odds that Biden will get impeached.
I would say 40%.
Yeah, that seems right.
I was thinking about there. I was going to say 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't impeach Obama. That's very noticeable to me.
That was wild. That is kind of wild that they didn't impeach the O'Bungler. You had Benghazi right there. You had maybe it's because I think weird. Maybe they were still stinging from Clinton, but I think the thing that might change it is just the fact that the Democrats did impeach Trump and they need to get punished for that. Like we were talking about how you one of the reasons you can't hold these people accountable is because it changes the calculus for the other party when they're in power about whether or not they punish you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but maybe it's you get one, we get one, but there has to be an off administration.
Yeah,
maybe
we got to take a break.
turns. Yeah,
but if that's the case, then it's okay, because they didn't impeach. You could only impeach one president in a row.
Yeah, so maybe they'll impeach Kamala.
Yeah,
that I can definitely see happen.
Kamala is sort of the most interesting element to me during the next 4 years, because it's like her support is so fucking hollow.
No one likes her.
It's so incredibly hollow. And it's like, the only people I ever see talk about her are like people who like write adult coloring books and shit.
And they
like,
do
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and they're so insisting about it because they know nobody likes her, and they have to over demand that you like her, which just that shows how weak your position is.
Yeah, the babies doth protesteth too much.
I mean, her
Yeah.
being the vice president is an interesting test because I feel like a lot of people will convince themselves that they do like her just by her being around for 4 years.
Yeah, but to most Americans, like, what does she resound as? She resounds as, like, the weirdest woman at your job who always makes you uncomfortable, always asks something in a weird way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gives like weird shoulder rubs.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's sexual harassment, but it's weird.
I mean,
Like, Kamala's whole thing is fucking weird. Like, I'm sorry, but it's like, yeah, no, this is just a normal marriage between like two 60-year-olds, and the like guy's kids call her mom. It's like if my mom got married now, I wouldn't like call her new husband dad. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm an adult man now.
Their whole family, the vibes are very fucked there, and I honestly don't think Kamala will ever be president.
No.
Because unless Biden dies, and they don't
That's
like people
not out
at
of the
that-
realm of responsibility.
I thought that, but like none of these people. Chuck Grassley
never
got
die.
COVID. Chuck Grassley got COVID.
That's true.
Chuck
That's true.
Grassley is
He'll
80
degrade.
is 84 years old.
He's going to be like this Ford Tempo I had that I would just drive in fourth gear 70 miles an hour and it didn't totally break.
No, Chuck Grassley
Yeah.
had COVID and he was like out of the Senate for a weekend, and he's 84 years old. These people have adrenochrome enemas that are just slowly dissolving in their assholes at any given moment. They don't die.
Sure.
So no matter how senile
Sure.
he gets, he's not going to die. And she's not going to win an election for president. I will say that.
No.
So given those two options, I don't think she's ever going to be the president.
You're probably right.
I will say
Yeah.
my only data point against that is that it worked for Joe Biden. That he ran for president twice, nobody liked him, then he got to be the vice president and eventually built up the support to do
but
it.
it's a carbon copy of a carbon
Yeah.
copy.
And I
I'm
think that
playing
the
devil's
people-
advocate here.
I think that Biden is more liked though than Kamala is.
Way more.
People like
Yeah, because Biden, as I said this before, he is he's more human than most
Yeah.
fucking politicians.
like all that stuff reads. We might think it's cringe, but regulars, the people who know the goth girl from NCIS, they see that as authentic. And there's nothing authentic about Kamala. And of course, racism and misogyny; those are real elements of it too. But the main thing is that she just seems like a weird animal. Like she's got that just suppressed mania that just does not feel like a real. It's like she's suppressing the urge to stab everyone who's like talking to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And among like the reading I get on her from like normal, like not especially like politically active like young people, not like the people who have like, wrote a letter to Amy Klobuchar or Tom Daschle to work for them when they were like 5, but like just regular people who like probably like passively like Obama and whatever other shit, like are happy that Trump lost. Like they just seem to think she's like weird and arrests people, which is like,
Yeah.
no,
kind of accurate.
yeah, you're right on both counts. I have trouble. The consent manufacturing machine is going to have to work on overtime with that one because it's just like she's got like nothing. There's just nothing
she
going
doesn't
on.
make much of an impression.
Yeah.
At least if she was polarizing, that would be something to work with.
Right, like Hillary.
But-
No, yeah.
Exactly.
Right. I don't hate like Hillary, and Hillary like she had enough that it's like people either hated her or it's like there was a type of woman that like deeply identified with her. I think like the assumption was wrong, but there was this assumption, this thing that she could break through with that was like, hey, like, are you the smart woman at your job who gets talked over, blah blah blah? And it's like, yeah, people bought into that. With Kamala, it's like, what type of person is she speaking for? Like, I know what Joe Biden speaks for. I don't know what just like every weird woman who works in an office, the aunt that like makes you uncomfortable by asking weirdly sexual questions. Like what?
I mean, I think of this too, like, you really can't discount, like, how different it was even in the 80s for women in any professional setting. I mean, and I'm not just talking about like, rising through the ranks of the board. I'm talking about like secretaries.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and, I had just no interest in examining that during the race, because it was like, well, I'm not going to win over these people. I mean, during Hillary's run, but it's like, that is the experience of like multiple generations of like voting women. It has nothing to do with Hillary Clinton's experience, but she is able to say that it does, and to sort of reflect. She was able to be like, oh, I'm like you, I'm like you, who whatever had your idea stolen, or who never got a raise, or who got talked over, like. Women who were white collar but not particularly secure. Like, I get it. Like, on some level, I get it. Like, you could project a lot on someone who says, I understand your experience. Kamala just doesn't have that. I mean, for one, like, part of the reason I think those women did like Hillary is because she was such like public enemy number one, even as, the governor's wife. People wanted to rally around someone who was obviously targeted. Nobody's really targeted Kamala. It's not even like she can like coast off of like underdog kind of appeal.
Yeah, that's true.
She just doesn't make an impression.
She just slid in there without any, like, Hillary Clinton, you might say, oh, what did she do to get the Senate or the vice president or the presidential nomination? She was publicly humiliated in front of the entire world by her husband cheating on her with a fucking intern.
Yeah.
Harris,
Yeah.
she got appointed. I believe was she appointed to the Senate in California? If not, she
ran against what was the woman who did the dab?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, even in like the jungle primary, she ran against like some shitty California Democrat who like dabbed during their debate. Am I the only person that remembers this?
I do remember that. Yes.
By the way, I have some interesting Hillary Clinton news that I just got from Josh Olson, if you're interested.
I think I saw this, but you should say it.
Hillary and Chelsea Clinton developing female Kurdish militia drama for television.
Yeah, and Bill Clinton helped capture Aslan. Is there anything that family can't do?
They're adapting
They make sure they get their
The
feet
Daughters
wet.
of Kobani, a story of rebellion, courage, and justice. And network is not yet attached. I don't know anything about this book. It seems a little. I don't know. We should probably take a look at the book to see if it was written directly by the CIA.
I'm looking forward to that series to see the Brace Belden stand-in character be displayed doing toxic masculinity to all the female YPG fighters.
Yeah, calling them all sweethearts.
Mansplaining how to use a landmine.
Do you think that like Hillary will ever make like a movie or a show that like there's a thinly veiled like version of us in it? I hope there is.
Oh, yeah, we all get hit. We all just get destroyed by a falling piano or something.
Yeah,
I mean, I would like to see
be
it.
mentioned. I won't be mentioned. I'm too inconvenient.
Yeah.
Like even in the thinly veiled reference, like I will just not exist. My name cannot enter their mouth.
Well, I think you'll be in because there'll be a scene where it's like, yeah, we're sitting around a couch and we're like, Hillary Clinton's gross. I would never fuck her. 0 out of 10. And then like someone hits like a toilet flush sound effect, and then just like a woman pops her head and is like, "You guys, yeah, guys." And then like give someone a beer, and we're like, "Shut up, bitch."
Yeah, I'm the Robin.
Yeah.
Or I'm the girl in the early morning radio show whose job is to go.
Oh, come on.
You guys, stop, you guys.
You're being bad.
Which is, by the way, apparently what a lot of our early fans thought I was too.
All right, let's we're getting towards the end. Let's kind of speed round some of these. We kind of already talked about this, but one of mine was odds on Joe finishes his first term in office, which is whether or not he steps down.
80%.
Yeah, he's gonna.
I think
live.
so.
I will go one step
I think
further.
so, we're right though. By the way, that we're very good at keeping people alive with a lot of money. That doesn't mean they're competent, but like it's definitely quantity of life rather than quality of life. They can keep him going technically alive. Like the little thing goes poop.
Yeah. What is it? There are
for like 100 more years.
There are conditions of living that we are prepared to accept.
Yeah.
From the Matrix.
Right.
I will go one step further and say I would put my hot bet on him running for a second term.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
I could
the
see
Democratic
that.
Party completely fucking empty. Like it has nothing. It's going to take more than 4 years to like create some sort of identity. None of these like people who they were supposed to take the reins from Biden from the old guard have made any impression on people. And there's after having been in power for 4 years, either Biden or more likely his Edith Wilson, Dr. Joe Biden they're not going to want to step down. They're going to drag his fucking wrinkled ass around like Grandpa Sawyer from Chainsaw Massacre, and he's going to absolutely get the nomination again.
Oh my God, what if it's like Reagan all over again and he's just got like pudding brain, but then Dr. Jill has like a psychic?
Yeah.
Or like she has like a coven of like millennial Instagram witches.
Yeah, they do spirit
that she
cooking
like
shit.
defers to. Yeah.
Here's one that I haven't seen anybody talk about, but came to mind. Joe gets a nominee onto the Supreme Court.
I'd say like 90%.
So one of those fuckers has yes, because Breyer will
How
probably
old?
retire.
Yeah.
Breyer will. I mean, none of the Republicans will die because old people don't die anymore. But I think that Breyer is like up there. He's almost as old as RBG was, and you know he doesn't have to hold on to his special, wonderful uniqueness and wait for a Jewish president.
because he's not
before he
doing
can
it for
leave.
you.
He will leave with knowing that he can get there'll be a Democrat replacement. So I'd say 90% because at least Breyer.
And no chance that if that happens, say that happens after the let's say Republicans take the Senate, that he's just denied a nomination completely.
Well, I mean, presumably Breyer will do it before the midterms, so it will happen in the next 2 years. If it doesn't, then they very well might. I mean, yes, I could absolutely see them not letting Biden, if they get the Senate back, I can see them not letting him, no matter how long it takes, not just saying no, because what are you going to do about it? They've shown, if you have the Senate, there's nothing that they can do. So if there's any opening after the Republicans take the Senate, he will not even get a hearing.
Okay, but who would he nominate?
Barack Obama. There are people who say that. You laugh, but there are libs who say that he should be on the Supreme Court because he's a fucking constitutional scholar.
He's going to Taft it.
No, it's going to be like Howard Schultz. It's going to be like this. It's going to be the Starbucks man. It's going to be the lib equivalent of the My Pillow guy.
I am all for
Your blanket.
I'm all for non-lawyers being put on the Supreme Court. I think
It's legal.
Totally.
Just like barefoot.
Yep. Have a barefoot, non-lawyer Supreme Court justice.
Oh God, it's going to be Adam Newman.
We've already basically done Dems keep the House, Dems keep the Senate. Very low chances.
Yeah, no, they're fucked.
Yeah.
Let's end then with a little more return to Trump and kind of look into his future, because Matt and I were talking just before we started recording that it's kind of been amazing the extent to which, at least in this first week, he has been like lobotomized out of the public consciousness has been lobotomized about him. He's totally disappeared.
He's gone. That's like it's just this giant. It's like you can feel I can almost feel, and you can see people trying to like make sense of it. You can feel the whooshing air of the vacuum created by this guy whose brain we are all living in for 4 years, and he just disappears. He's just gone. They got him off of the fucking social media, and that was really all it took. It's just now he's gone, and now it's like, what do we talk about now? Bernie meme. He's got gloves. It's racist to do the gloves. Just people are short circuiting because they have nothing to like be the North Star.
We have no input.
Yeah, and it's like he has to have consented to that in some degree, right? Because if he wanted to, I don't know. It's so weird. He's gone.
Maybe someone told him to come back. You have to go away.
I guess,
normally he would never listen to that.
That's just the thing, is that he doesn't have the self-control to really let it build. But at the same time, if he tried to let it build, maybe we truly are so deadened by the hummingbird news cycle, and we've been so fried by turnover that if Trump is off of people's radar for a couple months, even the people who would die for him are sort of like, oh, Trump, that guy.
So that was going to be my
but their energy is going to do something.
It's going to go somewhere, but I just wonder
it's not just like you kill the cult leader and everyone in the cult goes back to being normal.
Oh no, they don't go to be normal, but they might be
it's going to be a whole
they might be on to somebody else by that point. They could be like, I'm on the My Pillow guy now. Fuck, it's time to look forward. I don't know. It's very
prophet.
Weird, and I honestly if we're talking about what do we think future is for Trump, that's one where I feel I don't feel confident making any predictions because, I said when he got nominated or he became president, that all of our pop culture, all of our artistic expressions were all kind of pointing towards this being the end state, of America's democratic experiment. But then nothing that pointed beyond it, and that's still true. So I don't fucking know.
Well, my odds question was going to be Trump runs again or forms something approaching something that could, in the most broad sense, say a functional third party. Like he's been saying, the Patriots Party, even if it's just another one of his pyramid schemes to funny muddle to him that supports guys running against, I don't know, Liz Cheney or something.
And he keeps all the cash because he could do that and make a ton of money.
I could see it doing an MLM, but one thing I think he does not want to actually be president again.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
He hates
totally.
having lost, but he's not a bum to not be doing it anymore. He is probably bummed that people aren't talking about him anymore, though.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to do something about that.
He should start a vlog.
He should become a YouTuber.
He kind of used to do that.
Honestly,
he used to vlog.
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised because Don Jr. is all in that fucking digital politics space that they should just put a camera on him and have him just do YouTube shows. And you don't have to go through the trouble of borrowing somebody else's money to put together a fucking fake television network or anything. Just you get to be on, and people would cover it and people would watch it. He should Twitch stream. They need to get him playing Rust or one of these games. I don't know what the games are.
Rust is very popular. Rust is fun. You play as a bald woman with her pussy out and get hit with rocks.
So it's like a medieval village.
Yeah, I don't really understand it. I my friends play it, and I got it, and it's they got really, really into it. I mostly play CSGO and Warzone. I have pretty normie taste at this point. But I was it's good to get a change of pace every now and then. So I downloaded it, and I was instantly a bald woman who was totally naked and got killed with rocks several times before I found my friend's base. And I was I was this is cool.
I think that
I
would love that game. I think he'd have a lot I being the bald pussy lady getting hit with rocks.
Yeah, it's sometimes that's what you gotta be.
Rock thrower. Yeah. But are there any baby games? Because I want a new baby game.
Oh yeah, no. There are a ton of baby games. Baby games kind of the norm now because babies all have jobs.
Yeah.
Buy games now. This might make people mad, but I think I'm not saying this is a bad game. I haven't played it, but the colors and silliness of it. Fall Guys.
Oh yeah,
seems to be sort of a baby game.
You got to walk. That's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
It's from what I've seen, it has seemingly Katamari Damacy vibes, but group. Felix, I have you here, and we're doing kind of a rambling episode. Can I tie up a loose end that really disappeared? Do we ever find out what happened to Dr. Disrespect on that stream?
No.
No follow-up?
Yeah, no. From the way that people talked about it, I was oh, he did some Me Too shit, huh? And then it's I just haven't heard anything.
That was a very weird thing. The stream that everybody was passing around where he he gets a note and his attitude very suddenly changes and he starts talking about the fate of men and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's very weird. I was just wondering if there's any news on that.
It's so weird we haven't found out because it's like you find out everything now.
Yeah,
Everything
exactly.
leaks. I don't know. I know a guy who, he would know, and he hasn't told me. So who knows? I mean, I don't know.
Gaming world abounds with mystery.
Yeah,
Maybe
It's-
it's better that way, that it's just one of those things where we never find out. Because you're right,
Well-
we do get resolution on almost everything. So sometimes,
Yeah.
mysteries are good.
we live in an age with too much resolution. One would argue.
Dr. Disrespect is our DB Cooper.
Yes.
Yeah,
And we need
yeah.
those things.
Well, it is nice to not know something that isn't like the JFK assassination. I do miss. This is something I miss growing up, is like pop culture things that were just a mystery.
Yeah. Or just more broadly, like mystery and not having to enjoy something technically. Like, I remember, like, there was some video that came out that was like, a ballerina's pirouette is even more impressive when you know the science behind it. I'm like, no, it's not.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's
I-
art.
Impressive. What's impressive is that it looks like magic and you don't know how she's doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I want to
yeah.
enjoy a little bit of mystery and magic in my life. I don't want an anatomical understanding of every aspect of beauty.
I do kind of like not like stuff like that when they're like, here's the physics behind how, like a cat licks its own pussy. And it's like,
I'm like,
I want to think that's magic. They can do that.
can't I just rock out to that cat?
Yeah.
Can't I just be like, congrats, cat?
The one thing I did like is learning how like a dog drinks water, because that is something that used to make me nervous, because it was like, that seems like a really bad way to drink. And I was like afraid that they
Yeah.
weren't getting enough water.
They weren't getting enough water.
Yeah, but now I'm like way more calm about it.
That's a reassurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with that,
This was a cool episode. It's really good when Will isn't here and we can talk about the smart things.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can do, yeah.
It really is like, it's like your parents are gone and you're just in the cupboard, just putting everything together and eating
Yeah.
it and seeing what it tastes like.
Yeah, and 4 people came to your house and just started talking about whatever.
Yeah, we've had an all marshmallows from Lucky Charms diet for the last 48 hours, and Will's going to come back completely confused.
It's cool when kids just like eat an entire thing of like an entire jar of marshmallow fluff for dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's boss.
It's an experiment you have to go through to understand that will make you feel bad in your tum-tum
Yeah.
afterwards.
I remember, I think like a teacher or some shit at school had that, and I like made my mom get it, and I had like 1 spoonful and was like, all right, I'm done now. This is disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you got to cross the line to figure out where
Yeah.
it should be.
It was low class. It's a low class food item.
Oh, by the way, my only prediction that I had going into
yes.
this was that we're going to see QAnon on the runway.
on the it's going to become like a fashion thing.
100%.
Oh,
I mean, it's
yeah.
going to be the new derelict. It's going to be like Kendall Jenner, and especially as like it kind of like disperses and becomes harder to define, and there'll be more versions of it that are just sort of like whack jobs without any real coherent anything. Like there's going to be like a giant sweater on like a 7-foot tall 14-year-old Bulgarian woman that weighs 14 pounds. And it's going to have like a big Q on it or something like that. There's going to be some kind of derelict treatment towards Q. It's going to be on the runway.
I could see that.
Here's my prediction. I think there's going to be an absolutely fucking terrible either streaming service or premium cable show that's about anti-extremism researchers.
Oh God!
Yes.
yes.
It's gonna have Chip Burlette
Oh,
and
Jesus.
and
That's a
there's gonna
bummer.
be something on like Chip Burlette and all the self-appointed Nazi hunters.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. There was that Patricia Arquette CSI spinoff, CSI Cyber. It'll be that, like the blue room with no windows.
Yeah.
and somebody's just clicking away. It's like I've got Adolf Reichman 69 on here. I've got him stringing. Oh my God, he's posting his address. And it's like, boom. Yes, that will be the show.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
100%.
And I'm going to be on it.
Yeah. They're gonna hire Talia Levin as a consultant.
What else do I think is going to happen culturally? I don't know. I think they're going to like bring back Chappelle's show for 1 season.
What if it's really good?
He just got COVID, I believe.
He did.
yeah,
He got
but he's so
Joe
swole and
Rogan.
healthy right now.
getting COVID with my buddy Joe Rogan.
Yeah, vaping COVID in the garage with Rogan.
He's so swole and healthy right now. It was like I don't know, man. He might be the ideal person to get COVID. Like Dave Chappelle's almost creepy swole now.
Yeah.
Oh, well, last one I have. Tesla / Elon Musk associated bubble collapse and suicide.
There we go.
Inshallah.
Would Musk's suicide be in a spectacular fashion or in a quiet, shameful one? Would he like strap himself to one of his rockets or something like that? He is epic.
Hard to say. I mean, no one's beating Aubrey McClendon, the king.
Yes, the good old neon fucking Maserati into the wall.
That's so awesome to kill yourself that way. I fucking love that.
No, he couldn't kill himself.
I think Elon will probably it'll occur at the end of like an extended program of like Howard Hughes-ishness, and he'll just end up having his all Mormon guard execute him or something.
Yeah, I don't think he could crash the Tesla because that would be proving the haters right, which is the one thing he can't do.
Well, like my Tesla, like it just spells out Enron to me.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not literally. They're not like fucked up for the same reasons, but I just look at that thing and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
No, it's totally fraudulent.
Something's hinky.
Allegedly.
Yeah, it's very. It's also very like we worky, where it's like only very rich people that are like obsessed with and specialize in finance would look at that and be like, yeah, okay. And normal people who know nothing about it are actually better equipped to say, yeah, this doesn't sound feasible.
Well, my prediction sort of overlaps and conflicts with Felix's in that I believe that, yes, Tesla will have a crisis. Elon will try to escape to Mars in a homemade rocket that explodes upon takeoff. But then instead of just like being destroyed, Tesla will be acquired by GameStop.
All right.
And the Teslas themselves are relegated to like basically like door giveaways for when you reserve your copy of like Mario Sonic Olympics 2028.
Yeah.
It does
Fine by me.
It does raise an interesting question. Would the government allow an Enron to happen again, though? Because I don't mean like as in allow a fraudulent business to pop up, but like would they allow? I don't feel like the government would allow a company that size to fail again.
Yeah, no, because they know that as soon as it fails, there's too many other dominoes behind it. That's what they learned in 2008.
Right.
So they're going to be a lot more. Well, I mean, that's what the fucking the CARE Act was. That was like a preemptive bailout, basically.
Yeah.
They'll just keep doing that as long as they can.
Yeah.
Which is why, like,
no, I mean, like this is why neoliberalism isn't like libertarian capitalism, or it isn't like a fascist economic thing. It's all about managing markets within the realm of things. It's not a planned economy, but it's about like, letting fires happen and then putting them out just quickly enough. Like there's just not really a free market if you go in and swoop in and save the capitalists every time they crash.
Yeah, it takes the worst parts of central planning and the worst parts of improv and puts them together.
Especially, you mean the rape? Yeah. On that note,
Yeah, we've done hour 20. Thank you all for listening.
Will's going to be so mad when he hears
Sounds like we
about
did an
this.
episode without it.
Oh, man.
These are always a fun treat, but we'll be back on Thursday. Will be back with some structure and some other fun japes and stuff. So see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.